Today we are playing the green-white birthing ritual deck I was teasing yesterday. I did make a couple changes from the list I flashed at the end of last stream. Um, but I was doing a little bit of coaching for a friend. This is not something I offer people, just a friend who's trying to prep for RC Portland. And we were working on the green-white birthing ritual deck, and he brought up the idea of potentially building the green-white deck like the black-white deck, where you're still you lean more into, or you lean into Phelia, Flickerwisp, Recruiter of the Guard, instead of what we had, which is like Thraben Charm, Ranger Captain. And I thought that was a pretty good idea. So I've been spending like a couple weeks like working on this build, and I think that this build is notably better against black white. I think it's notably better against Eldrazi. And I don't really feel like you lose a lot of percentage points anywhere besides Breach. Like losing the Ranger Captains really hurts against Breach. So I've really kind of tooled the sideboard to be very good against it. You also have like main deck Haywire Mite, main deck Ephemerate plus Skyclave or Witch Enchanter, and then also kind of new tech. This is like last night. So I've been playing Elesh Norn to beat the black white deck, and this card is just game over against black white. if you can chain Birthing Ritual into it, they just literally cannot beat it. Have a second copy in the sideboard. But also, I'm pretty sure that Breach will have a very difficult time defeating this too. I guess they can go Breach Heat, but it's nice it doesn't die to one Unholy Heat. It stops Grinding Station from triggering. It stops Thassa's Oracle from triggering. It's at least an annoying card for them to have to deal with. Although it is 5 mana, but it's also good against Boros. I think that this is a pretty nice tool in the metagame. Yeah, great against Titan for sure, which is another tough. Mommy Ritual, no 4 drops. Yeah, we have 4 Witch Enchanters. Okay, let's get in there. Like here, like untapped green source is just so tough. I don't think going down on a land and a creature to draw some cards is what you want to do on a deck. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you would think about it as going down on the land, but we'll see. Flickerwisp is going to make this matchup a lot nicer, hopefully. Hopefully we draw a land. I think I actually just don't play the Boseiju. I really want to Boseiju the lab. It's okay, Polly. GG's. So they probably have Portent in their deck if they're this blue heavy. So I can go attack with my Ocelot Prides, Ephemerate the one that they block, play another Ocelot Pride, then I'll have 7 permanents, 8, 9, 10, and the last one gets a bunch of copies. Could also just main phase Boseiju and pass. Seems kind of weak. They'll put them down to like 6 mana next turn though. It would slow them down for a turn. Yeah, I think this almost time walks them, so assuming that they're just like trying to cast a 7 next turn, so it seems okay. Are they a Portent deck if they have Aeon's Torn? No. They are a Portent deck if they have Aeon's Torn. Yeah, I maybe I misspoke, but I did say they're probably playing Portent if they have Emrakul. Maybe you misheard or didn't hear. I think so. Seems likely. There's a good chance they have Breach and Portent if they have Emrakul. Yeah, we're talking about Portent of Calamity, not the goofy 1 mana cantrip. Not a great sign. Whoa, Nexus of Fate. Take that. Are they Wilderness Reclamation somehow? Might not even be correct to block with a cat token, but I guess Emrakul is a time warp effect, huh? Imagine if I just played my 3rd Ocelot Pride and they couldn't attack through all this. 3 cards in their hand. Oh, are they playing more than 1 Nexus of Fate? to see a bit more of their deck here. They're playing Karn also. Let's go ahead and pack it in. They get to cast another Nexus. Okay. I don't know what to say. Let's bring in the Gaddock Teeg, I guess. What the fuck? Let's bring in the Drannith Magistrates. Got the Solitudes, got the Elesh Norn. Do I want Collector Ouphe? Playing Talismans. I probably have Sprawl too. I feel like I tend to like Mite a little bit more. I didn't see any red mana, so maybe trying like not playing around Kozilek's Return is okay. I don't think I'm gonna play Drannith Magistrate for Portent. To be fair, they didn't hit Nexus on Portent. Oh, I saw it in the revealed card zone, but I guess that was just because it got revealed to shuffle in. So I think I want to be playing the Birthing Ritual this turn so that I can set up to try to go Phantom into Flickerwisp for the Forest next turn. We can get a Phelia into play. Mr. Spawn. So I think I'll go ahead and trade Phelia basically for a Phantom ETB trigger. I wonder how many basics they have. I mean, their build is going to be a bit different from normal Eldrazi stuff. Okay, so we want this to come back first. We can try to make the Phantom a Flickerwisp for the Forest here. Wow, they don't have another basic. All right, opponent, you thought you were going to have like 7 mana next turn? How about 1 or 2? What a game. Let's go. You said Drannith Magistrate, but added Orim's Chant. I did mean to add Orim's Chant. Okay, so they had another basic in their hand, so they have 4 total. Sorry, 3 total. Don't think I'm gonna cast a Phantom here. Well, it seems like we should Recruiter of the Guard for something. Chromatic Ori has entered the chat. Can't make fun of them. I've actually registered the same plan before. Or I've registered Chromatic Ori before.
What's up? It's
I don't know if I've done it on stream, though.
Spike.
Hey Spike, I want to let you know 5010 a highly competitive Modern last night with your Druid Aggro Storm deck with updated sideboard deck. Feels really sweet and well positioned. Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to take a look if you wanted to send the link. Very cool. Remember, Teeg doesn't stop walking Ballista. They did tutor the Ballista here. I really like the idea of the Recruiter of the Garden deck. I'm still unsure about the rest of the additions. Yeah, I mean, it is still kind of early, but I've been liking them so far. Flickerwisp have been good. Phelias have been good. Okay. Don't even have to show them the Orim's Chant. Let's bring in the Ouphe against the Chromatic Ori deck. Gonna take a mulligan. Definitely gonna click the keep button. My opponent has kept 7 themselves. I think I put back the Chant, although it's kind of close. This list needs Thraben Inspector. Thraben Inspector has been called. What does Magic players think about all the crossovers and collaborations Wizards are making with other franchises? I like to make a bunch of weird posts on Reddit about it all the time. It's like become a hobby of mine. So keeping this Plains lets me go Phantom plus Ephemerate in one turn. I think my graveyard though. But I'm going to play the Witch Enchanter just to have the ability to do that next turn if I draw a white source. I know, like, so there are going to be good Magic collaborations. There are going to be bad Magic collaborations. There are going to be good normal Magic sets. There are going to be bad normal Magic sets. I think you just have to evaluate each of them by themselves. I'm personally pretty ambivalent about it. This cuts them off colorless, which I think is pretty critical. Like, I think the flavor and the world building of the Lord of the Rings set was really good. I think the One Ring being a last second broken card was bad. Hot take of the year. So I guess we can recruit her for Solitude if we even care that much about it. We can also just play another Phantom and double block. So land would be really good, maybe. There's a land. Yeah, so I think my plan is going to be kill this. I know they only have 3 basics, so I can also just Ephemerate again to Stone Rain them again. Do that main phase. Then we can just sack a forest and then double block the Null Drifter. I scheduled my Magic retirement for the day the Marvel set is modern legal. Yeah, I just kind of don't know, like, how do you have this attitude? And I'm kind of genuinely asking how it's like, how you can already, without seeing the set, without like do you think there's no chance a Marvel Magic set could be sick? You think there's no chance that it could be well designed and interesting? Because I think it could be not that, and it could be sick, and I'm waiting to hold judgment until I see the freaking cards. But to say this, like, I'm gonna schedule my Magic retirement when Marvel is legal before you even see the set is I think pretty silly. I think you know, it's like I would love a great Marvel set over over freaking Thunder Junction. Like, I thought there's good and there's bad of regular sets and non-regular sets. And I think you just got to take everything as it comes. I'm not a Marvel fan, so it doesn't pique my interest, but I know a lot of people love Marvel. Yeah, I mean, I would say that I'm not nearly as big a Marvel fan as I used to be, of course. They kind of jumped the shark. I'm going to leave these both back to play around a bunch of Time Warps. Then let's go ahead and just keep with the Mana Denial plan here. Also, Thunder Junction and being pretty cool. I think for me, the flavor of Thunder Junction was not for me. Not for me. Like, is this really like what we're holding on to? You know, please, I need more. I need more crossovers with the same like 50 Magic characters over and over and over and over again. So I guess I'm gonna Witness back an Ephemerate, and then be very sad if they have a K command and I don't hit my Teeg before they cast it. Yeah, I mean, I like Bloomburrow was great. Yeah, like there's just like such a big range of all Magic sets. The quality just varies so much all the time. So they are casting the K command before I can Teeg them. 5 spawns, scry 5, draw 5. My Mana Denial plan failed. Yeah, I'll make a video for the Aether Drift set, of course. I think I'm still looking for Teeg. Teeg is like just a game ender against them. Or mostly game ender. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus 4. Yeah, taking Teeg over anything else. With maybe Phantom Labyrinth number 2. Flickerwisp Labyrinth number 3. I think people hate on the Gatewatch arc too much. Maybe I think the Gatewatch arc was like a pretty big drop in quality from like the sets before. Okay, 3 on the top, 2 on the bottom. Unfortunately, they don't have to shuffle. This game is a good example of why I've cut White Orchid from my black-white list for the most part. I think it's a very interesting comment. I feel like White Orchid Phantom has been absurdly good this game, and I would have had no chance to win this game without it. So the fact that you are the inverse here, that you have just cut it, is shocking to I get a little bit, I suppose. I'd love to hear a little bit more about that.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
Thought. So why did they go after my Collector Ouphe here? Ah, that's why. So they're probably gonna Time Warp. Like I've Stone Rained my opponent like 4 times with White Orchid Phantoms. I would have, I don't know. So if you want to, I would love just to hear an expanded thought there. Okay, here's a Time Warp. They have 2 cards in their hand after this, but they've had a lot of card selection with these commands, unfortunately. They're probably saying resource denial is not a good strategy. Yeah, I mean I think that'd be. I am genuinely seriously like asking them to expand on the point. This game is also like a little bit different to. Shout out Chromatic Ori. They have 1 card in their hand. It's a spell. It's an Eldrazi spell. Is it Emrakul? Can they cast Emrakul here? I think they can. Modern is so wild right now. When did Eldrazi start playing Time Warp? I mean, my opponent's just brewing, right? They're not playing super stock build. The Chromatic Ori is pretty cool. Making your, like, playing bad cards to make your good cards better. I think Fleshraker is a better version. Yeah, Fleshraker, Keen Sense, yeah. Granted, black-white is different from this deck, certainly. I found my clock isn't fast enough to make resource denial good. There's simply enough basics played, so it's hardly ever a 1. So it's hardly ever a 1 for 0. Well, hitting Temple and hitting Labyrinth is like a 2 for 1 almost. Hitting Labyrinth and Temple is like 2 for 1. They're in for Temple and Saga. I found Eldrazi to have little issue losing to 1/2 lands. It's another Temple. Drannith +2 mana. Okay, this logic feels a little flawed. Like I've had Eldrazi has a little issue losing to 1/2 lands since another Temple is drawn +2 mana, but like. Isn't that the whole point? Is like you go after that mana? Maybe I'm missing something. But like literally, like what is your plan as black-white against Eldrazi then? If you think that White Orchid Phantom is not your answer to winning, I think I can certainly like accept that premise that you don't feel like it's a good tool for you. But what is a good tool? Like, how are you planning to beat Eldrazi without White Orchid Phantom? Like the plan is just I'm gonna lose to one of the most popular decks in the format. I think I would rather try to figure something else out. Ghost Quarters? Ghost Quarters seems like almost just objectively worse than White Orchid Phantom in your Phelia deck. It can complement Phantom. Yeah, Phantom also good against Belcher. Play Witch Enchanter's land, flip it to blow up Saga. You can't flicker lands with Phelia. So we know that they have a Brood Scale in their deck. Or sorry, in their hand. In their deck. Fulminator Mage, keep getting it back with Overlord. Yeah, so I guess I just reject this premise then, that your plan is to cut White Orchid Phantoms because resource denial is bad in your Phelia Ephemerate deck, and let's add, I mean, I know your different chatters responding, but it's just like, I almost feel like we've just kind of lost the plot at this point. Okay, so we're going to Witch Enchanter, Haywire Mite, return Witch Enchanter, kill Saga. So I think it seems to me that you're just kind of okay, basically always losing to Eldrazi if you cut Phantom. I don't think there's a better card in the whole format for the matchup. Not that the matchup is like super good if you even main deck 4. I think Eldrazi kind of preys on these kind of decks. Also, like Flickerwisp helps complement this plan too. So by my calculations, they're a mana short of comboing me. Even if they have a blade. I really will want to see if they're playing the Keen Sense build. The Ballista kind of makes me think that, although Cavra Souls makes me think no. So I guess we're going Guide, Pride, Skyclave. I see Richard Garfield's article about game balance was really good. No, I would love to read it, actually. Maybe the thing is the chatter is noticing Phantom's a lot worse than the meta that's ready for it, and the answer is to not play this deck. Possibly, yeah. I think the answer is possibly. I think this has been a good conversation. You know, I am genuinely trying to understand and learn here. Okay, so we're up a game against Broodscale. Any Broodscale mains right now? How are y'all feeling about this deck? I'm going down 2 Ocelot Prides here. What is game balance? Excited to read that. By playing Ornithopter Cube, I'm commentating on it tonight. 6 p.m. is in 5-ish hours? No, it's in 7-ish hours. Game balance is a little bit of MTG, a little bit of Balatro. It's a pretty good way to put it. So the argument is the way you beat the meta matchup isn't good enough. Maybe the deck you're playing isn't worth it. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I think that that's probably the argument. I think, you know, to some extent too, like when you see a game like that, and you know our Eldrazi opponent like plays really well through all the hate and they curve out perfectly, you know, it's really easy to feel super defeatist about this, and you know, to some extent it is what it is. But also, like, you know, our opponent's deck is like full of Time Warps and Nexus of Fate and Chromatic Ori, and they just are going to have a ton of games that their draws are clunky and their deck doesn't function that much. And you know, this is not what we got to see this today. But you just like they just are going to have really awkward curves and really clunky draws where the mana disruption lines up really well against them. That just wasn't what we got to play against. When this leaves the battlefield, opponent draws a card. I think what we should do here is recruit up a Solitude. Solitude the Thief. Although maybe, sorry, I guess I should have pitched the other Phelia. But I'm going to tutor up another Solitude here to have it up for Broodscale or Fleshmaker. So I can go Flickerwisp the Saga, main phase. They make a Saga token. I Ephemerate the Wisp, exile the token. And then I can Flicker the Recruiter for another Solitude, potentially. Alternatively, we could go play Birthing Ritual, attack with Phelia, target Recruiter. My opponent makes a Saga token. I go Solitude, Ephemerate, Flicker the Wisp. And I can get another Solitude off the Recruiter. I can get another Solitude off the Recruiter, but I won't necessarily have a white card in my hand unless I just hold up the Ephemerate. I think just holding up the Ephemerate makes sense then. What are they playing red for? Unclear if they even have any red cards in their deck. Like, this could just be like painless, green, colorless land, right? Pretty interesting turn. A lot of options there. Yeah, it could be sideboard cards, but it just doesn't have to actually have anything. So we're gonna grab another Solitude. Trigger the Ritual. Witch Enchanter? Ha 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 ha. So good thing the Phelia is a 4/4. I guess they can tap the spawn, equip, then sack. Not gonna go to Chicago, no. They find a Kozilek's Command, which is pretty bad. Kind of a great turn for them, huh? Yeah, just not gonna be able to travel that much this year because of the wedding expenses. So I'm just gonna try to cut my opponent off of double colorless here between Phantom and Solitude on the token. See how effective this is. They do have the extra colorless source. So presumably they're going to main phase, kill my Phelia, and scry 2, draw 2. Seems kind of tough for them to make spawns with only 2 cards in their hand. Please stop arguing about Marvel movies in the chat. Holy shit, what the fuck? Okay, I'm killing this. They probably have like 2 more basics in their deck because they're playing Vista. I think I'm going to jump the Solitude. Stirrings. Fleshraker and Saga. They are rebuilding pretty dang well. And I'm just drawing a Windswept Heath. I have lethal next turn though. I've expected you to have a Grange to fetch. I thought about playing a Grange. Maybe we should. GG. It did seem like the better build of Keenson's Fleshraker was without Brood Scale, but kind of hard to tell without like a lot more reps. My opponent's username is Danny Ponza. keep the Phantom. What am I talking about? Have we built the Keensen's deck? Yeah, we played a bunch of it this week. Some varying results, but the deck has been like super duper fun. Rumble over Mere Scrappling. So this is probably Brood-Scale again. They do choose to put the Scrappling into their hand. Have we played the mono blue version or not? I think my answer is going to be or nah for that. I've been having kind of a difficult time trying to understand like why like what that is, what's good about that build compared to mono green. One big upside does seem to be like Ornithopter and Midnight double trigger Fleshraker, but that build is much worse at finding Fleshraker, finding redundant copies of Fleshraker, protecting Fleshraker, recurring Fleshraker. Without Stirrings, Rumble, six Woodland, to me it doesn't seem like the combo is competitive. You know what I mean? So they're gonna K command my Phelia in response to this. I'm gonna Ephemerate the Phelia in response to that, and I'm gonna play a Phantom on their cavern. So it's I really dislike that the blue build is like much lower card quality, so that your Fleshraker turns are more powerful at the cost of your Fleshraker turns are more powerful at the cost of not being able to find Fleshraker easier, protect Fleshraker easier, or recur Fleshraker. And it's the mono green build also doesn't have a problem like bricking, which would be like the reason to play Ornithopter Midnight if the mono green build was like bricking a lot, but it doesn't. So I could be wrong, and maybe there's something I'm missing about the blue build. If anybody's played it, I would love to get some feedback on it. But for me, I don't really understand. I just don't think that there's advantages of it. They main phase this. Scrying drawing again. We get to flicker the Phantom, kill the Saga. I thought Curiosity was mostly about card availability. I mean, at least on Magic Online, Keen Sense is not like a very hard card to acquire. There was someone who said something like they can't get Keen Sense in their country, which I thought was interesting. Wait, they're playing a snow-covered wastes? What the fuck? Cool. I guess the blue version would be worth it. Force and Subtlety became primo again. I mean, I didn't even see... I don't even think you should play those cards in that build, but... Yeah, it would have to be something like that, I agree. Seems worse than just running waste marginally. Well, I mean, they both died to break the ice equally. I don't know if there's any advantage. I think it's probably just like a for fun thing, if I had to guess. Which we look very down upon and on this channel, doing things for fun. Seems like I should Solitude here over Skyclave. And then if I attack with the Ocelot Pride, my opponent will block with a spawn, put a counter on the spawn. I get to Solitude the spawn. I think that's probably okay. I don't know if there's any downsides. Like the only like snow downside really is break the ice, right? There's that white angel that no one's playing. Yeah, break would destroy waste anyways, exactly. Do you have any basics left? Okay. Then playing the second waste was really good because they get to keep their K commands online through the Phantoms. Is Astrolabe safe from ban? Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. 3/3 Ballista. Alright, 6 mana kill Phelia. I accept, I guess. Seems correct to hold the Skyclave. Yeah, have you ever been blood mooned by a Niv Mizzet deck before? If you haven't, you might ask, is Astrolabe safe to unban? Punished. Punished here. I guess we would double block a Seer, so we'll not attack with the Phantom. They top deck K command. Good for them. Easy unban Astrolabe, ban Blood Moon. I mean, it's just that Astrolabe is just like such a Magic the Gathering breaking card. It just the color pie is just like non-existent. And there's like just no good way to interact with Astrolabe because it's a 1-mana cantripping card, kind of similar to how Up the Beanstalk, just like impossible to interact with favorably. Kind of close between Phelia and Phantom. Phantom does ramp me off the Flagstones and like thins my deck. I think the Phelia just has too many good top decks. Scrappy game here. Goodbye, Elesh, Norn. Hello, Wish Enchanter. Usually it's the other way around, I guess. Do you think they actually designed Ugin's Lab right? Powerful enough, but very high deck building restriction. Inferred Flow, 10 months. Thank you, welcome back. I'm not a huge Ugin's Lab fan. I think Image 3 is my least favorite set of all time. And Ugin's Lab has been like overshadowed in the design to some extent, but like I just genuinely don't understand how, like, I would love to have been in the room when the decision to make Modern Horizons 3 very Eldrazi focused was made. I would love to have been in the room when people were like, you know what Modern Horizons 3 needs? To have a huge Eldrazi focus. I don't know who thought that was a good idea. I don't know how that got approved. I don't know. I just don't understand how how that ended up going through. Least favorite WoW. Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty confident MH3 is my least favorite set ever. Agree to disagree, sign an Eldrazi fan. I guess so. I just like Eldrazi, like historically very unpopular. Not an archetype that people tend to enjoy when it's popular, when it's good. Eldrazi has like a lot of connotation for being hard to interact with and like having like absolutely ruined Modern for like an entire season. And it is like how did we get to the point where like let's just make a Soul Land and Kozilek's Command and Mycospawn? Like I don't know. It's not unpopular. Eldrazi are super unpopular in Modern, not super unpopular in Commander. This could potentially be a factor here, right? The big Eldrazi that are goofy and castable, those are, yeah, I agree, not the problem. So I guess we're flickering our Lush Portico here. So I guess I should have tapped it. When it's resolved after these resolve. So let's go Recruiter of the Guard for Phelia. I think so. All my Phelias are in the yard? Guess I should got the Witness, huh? Okay, 2 in exile, 1 in the yard. Guess we'll grab a Solitude just in case. And now we can get Witness for Phelia. Enough better than the average draw, I think. The conversation was, do you remember Eldrazi Winter? What if we tried to bring it back, but right this time? I loved Eldrazi, got Magic 15 years ago. Same, but Teamer Energy. I don't know. I don't know. It's... There's a lot of decisions about MH3 that I find like really baffling, and I don't know if there are any that I find more baffling than the decision to make Eldrazi really big focus. Okay, let's think about this game though. So my opponent can not really do that much against me here, right? So they can put a counter, they can cast Haywire Mite, they can't sack it. I don't know. It's like, I just don't really know if any of this matters. Maybe I'm missing something. Oh, I'm missing the Mirror Scrappling. Dang. So they get to go mirror. They have an infinite loop with the Scrappling here. So we have to Solitude the Witness in response to the trigger. There's a lot of people who think the same way for each Horizon set. I agree. I know that like in general people hate all the Horizon sets. I think that this is a fine take to have. For me, Modern Horizons 2 is my favorite set ever, and Modern Horizons 3 is my least favorite set ever. I think that it's gonna kind of always gonna be like this with Magic the Gathering. Like things are gonna resonate with you that don't resonate with other people, but I'm a big Modern Horizons 2 fan. Big Modern Horizons 3 hater, big Modern Horizons 1 hater. Can I do anything with the Wisp? Yeah, I mean, I could just like say no Fleshraker for you this turn. Look at the cards. The Ragavan Grief Saga set? Yeah, that set was sick. It wasn't perfect. Also the thing too you have to remember like about like the Modern Horizons 2, Modern Horizons 3, like what happened? Modern Horizons 2 stabilized the worst modern even though like Modern Horizons 3 is my least favorite set of all time, like Modern Horizons 2 followed up War of the Spark, Modern Horizons 1, Throne of Eldraine, Ikora, Kaldheim, just like every incredibly broken set in a row to like ruin the format. Like literally 7 sets in a row of destabilization, awfulness. It was just such a bad time. Image 2 stabilized this format and made gameplay, for me at least, fun and interesting. Fun, interesting, dynamic, where you could like brew and change things all the time. This is what Modern Horizons 2 did in my mind, in my memory. I think it was like exactly what the format needed at the time. I think it made gameplay great. It was not a perfect set. Fury probably should never have been banned. But even like Grief and Fury were like pretty balanced at the time, while like Luris was legal. And I don't know. I really feel like they knocked the ball out of the park with MH2. Like, I think gameplay was good, brewing was good, format balance was like about as good as it ever was. And then you had MH3 that just kind of wrecked that dynamic. Okay, we'll leave these back for now. I guess I'm probably sacking this, so attacking probably better, actually. Okay, we finally assemble Witness Ephemerate, though. Okay, actually, I just assumed I had an Ephemerate in my graveyard after all of these turns. Seems to not be the case. I'm not sure if Grief was ever unbalanced, just miserable to play against. I think that the combination... So I think in a post-Lurrus world, Grief plus Fury together in the Scamp Shell was unbalanced. When they banned Grief, like, a year after that, it was like... It was such a weird vibe-based ban. It was, like, one of the worst bans of all time, honestly. Like, or, like, one of the most inconsistent bans. Maybe not the worst, but inconsistent. I don't know. Do you think Kozilek's Command has too many modes? Yeah, Kozilek's Command is so silly. I've been playing Kozilek's Command in non-Eldrazi decks lately and been doing well with them. I've trophied with a mono green and mono black non-Eldrazi Kozilek's Command deck. Spike, do you feel that Modern is a pretty great state? I do think Modern is good now. I think Modern is finally good again. Is not perfect. Modern has never been perfect and never will be perfect, and that's part of the fun for me, at least. You know, actually, let me play Teeg here. Play 3 Guide 2 Pride. I don't think Modern will ever be perfect. Has ever been perfect. I think it's good at the moment. I think the like it took them like 7 months to like fix things, but they did finally. And there's just so many like design decisions in MH3 that just still baffle me though. If I had a green-white duel, I'd be a lot closer to keeping that hand. Oops, all spells. Worst part about Eldrazi is the deck isn't strong enough to get K command and Microspawn banned. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not trying to like talk about bans, I guess. Just sort of musing. Would keep that if I could cast it, I guess. Now, I would really like to kind of just let them commit into the board here and then go Phelia, Solitude, Ephemerate, Flicker the Solitude, but we'll see how crazy they get here. Do you feel like part of MH2 success was because they included so many Magic pros in the balancing process? I don't know if they did that for MH3. Yeah, I don't know everybody that worked on MH3. I know Mason Clark did. I was invited to work on MH3 and I said no because of like it was just too demanding schedule wise. I do regret at this point saying no. I'm sure that they had other pros on the system, but it's also like I don't want to put like I don't think you should put blame like so much on the pros that consult, because assuming that the process was similar to the other things I've consulted on, when they bring people in for consulting like this, the dynamic is basically always that the set is kind of like already, you know, no pun intended, set in stone, and they want you to help tweak and tune cards. They're not having you have like big sweeping design decisions. Like the designers for Modern Horizons 3 or the consultants for Modern Horizons 3 weren't the ones that said, hey, let's make Nadu primarily a commander card. They weren't the ones, I'm sure, that said, hey, let's make Eldrazi a major focus of Modern Horizons 3. You know what I mean? Where we on Flage is better than Uro. I think Flage is like definitely not better than Uro, but it's probably not something we'll ever be able to tell. So what am I doing here? Let's save the Phelia. Is Solitude Ephemerate on our own dog a line here? Yeah, I guess I don't know why you'd want to exile Phelia. I might be missing something. They admitted they messed up the consulting aspect of Image 2 and skipped the development stage regarding pitch elemental is the same reason Nadu happened. Yeah, I agree Image 2 is not perfect, and I think that had they tuned Grief and Fury more, could MH2 have been like pretty universally well received? I don't know. Because my feelings about the set as a whole have always seemed kind of disconnected from the player base's opinions on MH2 as a whole. I've always just loved the set, and like your average Reddit commenter thinks that MH2 ruined Modern, but also your average Reddit commenter wasn't playing Modern for like the 2 years before MH2 that were just like the worst like Magic format ever. Maybe I don't know. Just amusing. Why Solitude here? I just can't let them untap with the Fleshraker again. So I guess we'll go to combat, make them kill the. So let's go to game 3. Let's go to game 3. Hey, I love Bant Eldrazi. I genuinely don't mind there being Eldrazi decks in the format. However, I don't think the deck would be playable without the busted Kozak's command. Yeah, maybe. That's possible. I mean, Labyrinth also. But just like, I think on a bigger picture, right? On a bigger picture, if you were going into just design MH3 from a blank page, let's just imagine that that's you, that's your job, is to start designing MH3 from a blank page. How many of you do you think would come to the conclusion that a major direction you want to go with MH3 is pushing Eldrazi, making a soul land? Like, maybe some of you, but for me, like that would be just so far removed from my vision on what I would want to do with the set. That's just the point I'm trying to make. Well, good dismember. Eldrazi are awesome. Well, hard to argue with that. Yeah, I'm sure some of you would have like loved it, but for me, like it was just always very out of left field, I guess. I mean, if they make Eldrazi suck more, is even a problem. So this is also the thing. It's like this is the problem with Eldrazi, right? They dedicated so much stuff to it in MH3, and it's just like either inevitably going to be a huge part of the Modern format forever, which I don't think is super fun for the, I don't think gameplay is great against Eldrazi usually. So like this is one direction you could go, or you could make it suck. And at that point, what's the point? Like, what's the point of focusing on this? So I don't know. As a certified Eldrazi lover, if I got to design a card for it, K command is probably way stronger than anything I would have made. Yeah. Either power creep or don't sell packs. Yeah. I think so too. I mean, it's also like really, if I'm going to be quite honest, I know this is going to come as a surprise to some of you. I think the best way to have done Modern Horizons 3 would to have just been not to do it. Kind of simply because like when and this is also like not like a very realistic thing on like the broader like corporate scale, which is also not something I care about. But MH2, in my opinion, was a set that Modern really needed. It really needed MH2 to stabilize an incredibly unstable, volatile, broken format. When MH3 came out, you just, like, and Lord of the Rings, you just didn't have these needs, and I think that Modern has been like a much better supplemented set by Standard. Like the Standard card design has been really good for a long time. I think Aether Drift is a really good example. We have like about a dozen really cool build around cards that kind of clearly won't break anything. And if we could have just like stayed like that forever, that would have been, I think, way preferable to having a Modern Horizons 3 in the first place. So like, yeah, I hope they do not do Modern Horizons 4. I hope that is my hope. I think they've kind of finally fixed things. I hope there's not a Modern Horizons 4. During the first time you saw an Eldrazi, I remember seeing Emrakul the Aeon's Torn at my LGS's like card window when I was like 18. So let's not put attack with the Ouphe so they can't exile Skyclave and then block the Ouphe. I think I'm gonna hit my own land here instead of the temple. It will not be called MH4, but be more direct modern sets. Yeah, I think that this will be the case too. But if I was in charge, I would do 0 more direct modern sets for a long time. If anything, I would do them more like Assassin's Creed, where the sets are just really small. If I was in charge. Spike, why do you think Storm sucks at large-scale tournaments at the moment? It's a good question. I don't think I can give you a great answer to like Storm and like what Storm is doing, because I don't understand what happened with Storm. I remember like when MH3 first came out, we're playing Storm. We literally can't fizzle with the deck. We literally can't lose. We're just like laughing the entire way to the bank nonstop. It's just like such a crazy good time. I'm getting the recruiter so I can have a white card for Solitude. It was just unbelievable how busted and fast the deck seemed. And I just genuinely, I also just don't know what the hell happened. That like when I play against Storm now, it literally seems like they can't combo. I literally have like nothing in my deck against them sometimes, and they have all of the resources in the world, and they just still fizzle more often than they kill me. Was Dragon Rage's Channeler the secret to all of this? Probably not. But I also struggle to understand why it is Storm just seems so unviable. So I guess I should have stacked it so if I drew Ephemerate, I could Ephemerate the Solitude. Although we'll Ephemerate the Recruiter now. People are messing with so many weird things with Storm. Yeah, I also am not like the biggest artist talent fan. But yeah, I just don't know. Do I want to thin my deck by letting them take something here? No, I just whatever. When was the last time you played Storm? Most players just experience. I don't think that's it. Probably. I don't think the answer is skill issue to like lol. I think it could just be that like we were running really hot with the deck very early into MH3. Okay, so they can get Haywire Mite and they can kill my Birthing Ritual. Yeah, I think the more likely answer is that we were just kind of running hot with it. That to me that seems more likely than the builds are just bad and the players are just bad. Yeah, lag has been like perfect today, thankfully. I've been kind of cautious about it so far, but no, lag has been good today. So we're gonna get a Turn of Witness here. Yeah, Storm also loses to like a lot of incidental hate, but I'm just also saying like I'd play against Storm and they just literally can't combo even if there was no hate. They just would not be able to combo. It's kind of unbelievable how I'll write the stupid lantern. But it's just kind of unbelievable how like they just cannot combo no matter what. They posted they found a fix. Let's go. I really would love to know what the fix is. They said the lag was caused by all the visual changes. Okay, was that not obviously it? Okay, good, great. I'm glad that they undid it. That's so good. It's just this is the new metagame in the world. Cause a problem, let everything be bad for a bit, fix the problem you caused, celebrate. Woohoo. Congrats. I'm glad that they. I hope they figure out how to implement these visual changes. They look pretty cool, but I'm kind of surprised they didn't realize it was that sooner. So they find a Brood Scale. Team Channel Fireball went with it to the Pro Tour, so it can't be bad. As someone who was play tested with Team Channel Fireball for a Pro Tour and ended up playing what I feel like was a bad deck, We landed on Yogg, and then they landed at Storm the next PT. I don't know. It's kind of tough. There's just a lot of minds kind of smushing together. Does it give us the GG here? Yeah, they did pretty bad then, and then we did pretty bad with Yawgmoth the Pro Tour before that. So I think in an environment where everybody is just so good at Magic and so smart and so accomplished, there's more of a culture of just trying to shut up and listen. And like literally everyone is like this. Everyone is just trying to shut up and listen and trying to learn and trying to absorb, which I think I don't want to speak for everybody, but this was kind of my experience myself, and my experience watching like basically everyone was just kind of trying to shut up and listen a little bit too much and trying to be a little less confident in their own opinions. Unexistent, 48 months. They go back. Happy 4 years. I have not laughed out loud that hard in a while. Thank you for the streams. I wonder what was so funny. Wonder what my opponent is doing here. Just Rakdos mid-range. So if I cast Recruiter of the Guard, what are we getting here? Solitude, probably. I weirdly enough, I'm just putting a lot of priority on not bolting myself here, not taking 2 from the Bowmaster. Just going to play this tapped. I know first day of class is horrible. What do you think about being an instant win with any creature plus a Grist exiled with Soul Cauldron? First day of class is a horrible card. What do you think about being an instant win with any creature plus a Grist exiled with Cauldron? Well, one is it gives everything haste too. Okay, I mean that's kind of interesting. In general, 3-card combos are something you should stay away from, especially when, and you can play 3-card combos more so when card quality is higher than that. I was very surprised Channel Fireball brought Yogg and the Rhinos scam metagame. Yeah, I mean, I was trying to argue against it for a long time, and then like Reed had some like really good sideboard plans that we felt like helped the matchups enough that we were willing to do it. Okay, just hollow one. But it ended up just like it was just kind of a bad decision in general, because we like had data that supported the fact that it wasn't a good choice for the metagame. And we kind of just chose to knowingly ignore that data, thinking that our sideboard plans and play experience would give us an edge. Wasn't the latest BNR also fairly bad from a balance perspective? I disagree. I thought the latest BNR was actually great from a balance perspective. Ooh, Trespasser in Hollow One, cool. Yeah, I mean, I would love to hear you expand a little bit more on why you feel like it was, but as I get Hollow One here. Six and 8. But I still feel very good about the BNR decisions that happened most recently. More for the unbans rather than the ban cards. Yeah, that's what I figured that you meant, but that's also what I'm disagreeing with. Like do we feel like Breach is so good with Mox Opal that the whole BNR was bad? Because Breach was going to be one of the best decks no matter what, I think. Like Breach was already one of the best decks in the format before the bans even happened. Breach might have been quietly the best deck before also. Like to me it seems more like Breach is the problem than Mox Opal, especially because like just other Mox Opal decks are not performing. They missed some key pieces to the ban. Raptor was/is not the reason energy was too good. Well, this is also like reductive too. They banned 3 cards from energy. They banned Raptor, Gigantha, Ring, and I actually think they banned all of the best cards from energy. But like energy has just so many insane cards, and it's still like a very competitive deck. Are non-station Breach decks doing well either? I guess I don't understand this point. They're basically like, what non-station Breach decks are there? I would have preferred a Johnny over Raptor. Yeah, Johnny over Raptor could have been correct, but like this is something I was saying the whole time on the BNR was that like Guide, Pride, Raptor, Johnny, Flage are all very similar power level, and I kind of just think you should pick, pick 2 of them or pick 1 of them and get rid of scheduled BNRs. Well, they top deck 2 Nethergoyfs in a row. I top deck a Wisp. Exactly, that's the point. I think you could keep Breach if you ban Station. I mean, this is like you could keep Nadu if you ban Shuko. It's like, I guess, but like what? Like, I tend to just say let's ban the more powerful card. That makes more sense to me. Also, like you can play Enhanced Surveillance instead of Grinding Station, and it's not that different. Top decked another spell in a row. My point that you mentioned that Mopal isn't doing well outside of Grinding Breach, I'm saying that neither is Underworld Breach. Not trying to be contrary or anything, just earnest. I think that's fine. This is a good. I sometimes I feel like my general demeanor makes me think I'm arguing or being upset. I'm trying to have a conversation too, but Breach is like broken because of Grinding Station, or like this is Grinding Station plus like it's like saying is would Deceiver Exarch be good without Splinter Twin? It's like you need to play these cards together for them to be really busted. This has been the case for years and years and years. Dude, they went Goyf into Goyf into FOMO into FOMO. Gross. And they didn't play a land. I feel like I almost need to like attack with the Solitude here. And then Flickerwisp Bewitch Enchanter. But I also don't like, I think it's still like too early to say like if Breach should be banned or not be banned. I think it's fast, consistent, resilient. Can it be hated out? Maybe, maybe not. But I still like want to find the answer to that question before calling for a ban. And so like all of this whole conversation also is just kind of responding to the question like weren't these bans unbalanced? I think the answer is like no. I think they did a great job with the ban list on ban list. Looting also has been like way less impactful than I expected it to be, but also every every deck just seems to be playing a million Graveyard Hate spells forever, which is interesting. So I mill 3 cards, whatever. They mill a Detective's Phoenix. Yeah, I always love these games where both players are top decking really well back and forth. So I need to leave a Flickerwisp back because of the Phoenix, I think. Now I'm dead to Nethergoyf, Fear of Missing Out. Now I'm dead to Hollow One. How'd they gain that much life? I solituted them a bunch of times. Flashback eluding, so now I'm not dead to... Oh, I'm dead to Hollow because it costs 0. Cycle Street Wraith again. Helping me with that life total. Passes the turn. Phelia is a nice draw. Still leaving this back for the Phoenix. Interesting that they played their land with another looting in the yard. Oh, yeah, so there's one. Is this Street Wraith? Shouldn't it be a Hollow One? They should have looting in the Hollow One. Oh, they escaped Goyf, right? Dude, they drew another FOMO? Unbelievably good. And their last card is another Detective's Phoenix. I'm dead. They just get to... I'm just dead. They get to untap it. Well, that was pretty good. Pretty good. All right. A little lower on the Sanctifiers here. I do think the first Haywire Mite usually ends up being pretty good. It's got the Phantoms. Yeah, I think I'm just going to bring in the Mites. Like, you're just kind of happy to sack them to Ritual, and Phoenix is like such a pain. Great game. Games have been so good this week, I feel. Despite all of our, like, general musing about Modern, I feel like gameplay's been really good. I've just been, even the games I'm losing, I'm like, wow, that was just so good. We lost that one. They drew very well. Drannith. I don't think I like Drannith so much against them, but I could be wrong. So I think I like leading on the Ocelot Pride here, because if my opponent has a 1-mana removal spell, I get to know how the sequence a little bit better, because they're going to do it before I hit them, compared to, like, I have to make the first move, if that makes sense. Yeah, no, I'll just do this, I think. Bad against Street Wraith, I guess. Yeah, I should not have attacked there, but didn't get punished. Let's got Croaks of Phoenix. I like seeing Croaks a lot in Rakdos.
Aspiring Spike.
Rakdos Hollow One. Like, it's not Flage, but if you're already Rakdos and you're a Faithless Looting Arena of Glory deck, you should have some Croakses. Will I test Green Maverick again in the near future? Yeah. I plan on it. I was actually considering playing it in the challenge tomorrow. I might not. And I'm also, I think after this league, going to do a poll of either playing that deck or playing Lantern Balance again. All right, they have a Phoenix in the yard, so I'm definitely not going to chump with the Mite. Could chump with the Cat token, maybe. Which unbanned card has been the most impactful? I think it's probably Mox Opal right now. I remember, like, right when the shakeup happened, it really felt like looting was the best card, and now it's just been every deck plays a ton of graveyard hate and seems to be containing looting for the time being. Oh, so I guess I should have stacked it the other way. -1 life. Yeah, but I've been really itching for that Lantern Balance deck, and it feels like there's less counterspell decks too. Gross. Three cards in their hand, but also 2 Phoenixes and a Croaksa in the yard. So this is not a bad pickup. I'd love to get a Sanctifier. I think I need to get a Solitude and then hope to, like, hit a Sanctifier or Endurance off the Ritual. Nice. Right back in it. Blowout. Great. The games are just so good right now, I feel. Do you think Rakdos Gearhulk could be good enough for my idea? I don't know which idea you're talking about. I don't think that Rakdos Gearhulk looks particularly close to modern playable, no. Ooh, 3/4 even through the Sanctifier is kind of nice, but I'm going to block. Still pro black, still pro red. No harm in keeping me honest, I guess. What do you think is the best deck to grind trophies? I mean, if you're just, like, mindlessly grinding, it's probably Boros Energy. Like, you don't have to think that much. Love you. And yeah, there's just, like, not that much thinking. And the matches are fast too. Okay, don't want any of this for that. Okay, I could take an Endurance. Seems pretty good. Yeah, it's not. Games are so good, I feel, as you play against the biggest offender for non-games in the format. You talk about cards that are too good, powerful. Your 2/2 red-black decks lose again. #1 offender, I see. I don't know. I just let me enjoy some freaking Magic the Gathering, please. Is that too much to ask? Hey, chat, I'm having a lot of fun playing the game. You had fun, you playing Sanctifier! Ah! Come on. I feel like every game today, I feel like even like every game this week has just been so good. And like the biggest problem this week too has been that The lag has been so bad that like games are just like not super playable because the client is not that playable, but the gameplay itself had been quite good. And now even the client is playable again. Kind of risky to do this, but I feel like we need to get the ball rolling a little bit here. Maybe I'm opening myself up to like a bolt. So we could Witch Enchanter a Fear of Missing Out. The problem with this is this gives them Delirium, so we could be taking a pretty big hit. So I think what I'll do is Flickerwisp the Nethergoyf. If Sanctifier sucks so much for in deck. You're the one that said it sucks. I'm the one that said I'm having a good time. Was there a reason to not cast the Witch Enchanter to kill the Hollow One, rather than pitching the Solitude to do the same thing? I mean, I had to do it at instant speed, otherwise I took a big hit. I also didn't know I was drawing a land to cast the Witch Enchanter. Was it possible to stack the ritual triggers with the Evoke Solitude? No, because they resolve at sorcery speed, so you can't like... Why Solitude are the 4 damage that important when you can destroy the Hollow One with land drop next turn? Well, I don't know that I'm drawing a land next turn is the big thing, and yes, I do feel like the 4 damage mattered a lot there. I would Solitude again, I think. I didn't say it sucks, so it was too good. Now that you pull out of the yard, I think I'm vindicated. I guess so. I literally don't even know what you're trying to say, 4 dogs. I don't know. I just try to have fun. Doing my best. Haywire Mite exile FOMO is a possible play. No, Haywire Mite only exiles non-creatures. So they don't have Delirium again. So I could go Recruiter of the Guard for Phelia and get 2 bodies into play. Getting that second body in play is pretty important. I think I'm actually just too weak against too many of their cards here. So I think I'm just going to try to block, take 4, then surveil into something. Sanctifier is stupid. You can literally do nothing against an Rakdos. You can make them sacrifice it. You can play... They could have played Kozilek's Return over Pyroclasm, which doesn't kill any of their creatures. They probably should be doing that because Sanctifier is kind of back with the black-white deck. I also am behind here, for whatever that's worth. Like, you know, my opponent also got like a 3-for-1 with the Pyroclasm. You know, we both drew our sideboard cards this game. Could be bolted right here. I think I'm going to Fatal Push the Skyclave, which puts me dead on board with not a lot of recourse. I could go Sanctifier into a 3, into a Witch Enchanter, kill a FOMO, but then they would have Delirium, which would be pretty tough to deal with as well. So now I could get Flickerwisp potentially and say they don't have a FOMO in play for a turn. Could also exile an Illusion token. I could also get Endurance and say no Delirium for them, but then I would still have to like hit Witch Enchanter. Yeah, it seems like I just have to take the Flickerwisp. And it seems to me to be better to go after Illusion token. Sorry. Fear of Missing Out. What is red here? Mistapping for a Bowmaster? Tink, Bowmaster. Can't lose. I'm very confused. My opponent started a tap mana and then did nothing. I guess they have Hollow One in their hand and they thought about cycling in response, but then why would they not cycle at end of turn? Okay, I mean, we'll take it. Out of the frying pan, not out of the fire, as it were. Funny way to end this game. Okay, let's pivot over decks, I think. Not a great day with green-white. Maybe I'm still just trying to force this deck when the metagame has adjusted a lot, where it's not as good as it used to be. Maybe our opponents are also top decking really well all day, which has definitely been the case. Chew on it for a little bit. We've got two options.